And welcome back. Tom is joining us today from Hy-Vee's Sunshine location.
And there's always a lot going on there. What's cooking, Tom?
What's cooking at Hy-Vee right now is really a big deal, especially for all of you beer lovers and aficionados out there. And I have Darren with me. You remember Darren, he manages the wine and spirits here at Hy-Vee. Good to see you.
Hey Tom, how are you?
Okay, really not kidding. Big deal right now.
Yuengling is about as big of a deal as I've ever seen in the beer world as far as what's being new in Missouri.
Okay.
This is a brewery that is been around since 1829, in which it was called Eagle Brewery, and
Right.
later changed its name in 1873.
So this brewery has been around before the Civil War, in other words.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It is the oldest brewery in America.
Uh-huh.
Not only that, but it is the largest craft brewery in America and the largest American-owned brewery in America, because all of the other major breweries in the United States have been bought out by foreign conglomerates.
Okay, why haven't we had this here before? If it's that old, what's the deal?
Well, it has to do with distribution issues. Originally, the beer was brewed in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, which
Okay.
is where it originated, and they basically fed the eastern seaboard of beers. In 2008, they bought an old Stroh brewery in Florida and expanded production in the southeast.
Okay.
And in recent memory, they bought an old Coors brewery in Memphis, and more recently, a brewery in Fort Worth.
Okay.
So that with the establishment of these new breweries in other parts of the country, they're able to introduce the beer to more people in more states.
Okay, but it's been in Arkansas for a while, hasn't it?
It's been in Arkansas since 2018.
All right, but there's a little story about why it may not have been in Missouri quite as quickly.
Okay, so there is an old wives' tale that historically the Bush family blocked the sale of this beer in Missouri because they wanted to sell, well, of course, their own beers.
Okay.
I don't know how much validity there is to that, but I've heard
It's
from
one of those
several-
tales that are out there any way you look at
I've
it.
heard from several fairly reliable sources that August the 2nd was instrumental in keeping it out of Missouri.
Okay. All right, now, this really is a huge undertaking as far as Yuengling coming to Missouri, is it not?
Sure, yeah. The initial launch was just in restaurants, and they released a keg program. So we originally received our first batch that we were only able to sell at the bar on February 6th, and then on March 6th, which was Monday, we released. It was released to packaged liquor stores.
Okay, so now people can come into Hy-Vee, and you have it, of course, in the wine and spirits section.
Sure, I've built two huge displays in the department. I also have it in our cold beer room, which is some of the coldest beer in town. It's available in the grocery store. I pallet dropped a case of it in the grocery store.
Okay.
And then I also have it smattered throughout the store as touch points.
So if you're walking around, you're going to run into it sooner or later, any way you look at it.
Sure.
Or just come right into this section.
Absolutely.
And you have a huge display. All right, what type, saying, okay, it's beer, but there are different types of beer that Yuengling has.
Absolutely. So, Tom, we didn't get their full library of beers, but we got their most famous ones. Just behind me is the Yuengling Lager, which comes from a historic recipe that was reintroduced in 1987, and this is kind of their workhorse as far as beers go.
Sure.
And even though it's called a lager, it looks and actually drinks a whole lot more like a amber beer.
All right, Skull.
Cheers.
All right, try this.
And it even kind of tastes like an amber beer more than it does a lager.
It does. It
But
does.
it's got that caramely flavor
little caramel,
to it,
yeah.
which is just, I think, fantastic.
All right. So you have this, the lager. Pilsner is also available.
There's a Pilsner, there's a light beer, and there is also their answer to the low carbohydrate beer, and it's called the Flight.
The Flight.
Yes.
And you have that here as well.
We have that here too.
And I also notice, yes, you have the bottles, but cans also, easy transport, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. I think I took in 13 different SKUs for this launch. And what I mean by SKUs is 13 unique products. So
Yes.
6-pack cans, 6-pack bottles, 12-pack cans and bottles, 30 packs, whatever the case may be. We have it all.
Do you see in the future getting some of the other varieties that they produce?
One of the most requested beers that they have is something called the Black and Tan, which is historically a Guinness-based beer.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be made available in probably the next year or so, is what I've been told.
All right. So, they've got it here. They've got it right out in front of you. You can get it cold in the cooler.
Yes, sir.
And it's all in different places around the store here at Hy-Vee. So now you know, big opening. Yuengling has come to Missouri, and you can come to Hy-Vee and pick it up. Now, we're going to come back here in just, a minute or so, a couple of minutes, and we're going to talk about a little more that the wine and spirits section has to offer. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Tom. Kimmy, one of my favorite parts about Hy-Vee is that you can get these local products or Missouri-based products right here in our own grocery stores. I think that's really unique because you don't necessarily have to go online to find it or travel elsewhere to find it. Get it right here in Springfield.
And there's a lot of them, too.
A lot of them.
Long
Yes.
list.
Yes, I love it. All right, well, coming up next, as Tom said, we'll check back with him in just a few minutes.
But later, we're going to get all the details on this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade, so stay with us.